are no bad guys, just disturbed guys.
National college baseball writer for CSTV, Eric Sorenson.
Speaking of, this is like Christmas Day for me, by the way.
LSU wins it!
All right, just watch out if they show up with those Easton bats at your doorstep.
Cinderella wins the national championship!
He's Eric Sorenson. He knows everything.
The biggest fan of the sport you'll ever find.
Hey everybody, how you doing? Eric Sorenson here for the latest Baldcast. This time coming to you from frigid and cold and snowy Southern California. Mount Baldy behind me over there. Yes, that's the actual name of the mountain here in the San Gabriel Mountains just north of Los Angeles. Obviously, with all this snow and all this bad weather, it's a real disadvantage for Southern California teams to play in these kind of conditions. So I think the season should be moved back maybe another month or so, just to make it fair for these poor Southern California teams. Anyway, welcome to the Baldcast, and you know what? I'm kind of lying. It's not really that cold. It's just a little windy maybe. Hopefully the sound isn't too bad. They got some winds kind of whipping through here, but hopefully you'll be able to hear me fine. I'd like to start off this week with a little plug for my good friend Jeremy Mills at d1baseball.com. You see this? This is the layout of his front page. There's my bald head down there. Notice right here near my middle finger where it says donate to the cause, so he doesn't have to have a lot of bad advertising placed on there. Go to that button right there and donate some money. Look, the postseason's coming up, the conference tournaments and the NCAA regionals, and you know you use that site about 50 times a week if you're like me, maybe 100 for me, but nonetheless, you use it a lot. Let's give the guy some green and help him keep his site going, because if we lose that site or if you have to junk it up with a bunch of advertising, well, that'll just plain suck. So go to his site and do that if you don't mind. And don't worry, Mr. Forest Ranger, I'm gonna pick up that piece of trash. Okay, so, first of all, notice the shirt I'm wearing. No, it's not something Cal State University. This is Coppin State Baseball. The head coach, Mike Scalino, sent this t-shirt to me. And coach, I promised I would wear it at some point during one of my Baldcasts. Here you go. I noticed you guys are on a little bit of a tough streak. Get your shit together. Let's get this, let's turn the season around. You've already got 10 or 11 wins. Let's try to make it to 20. But you still had a great season nonetheless so far. So thanks for the shirt. I appreciate it. One of the things I wanted to bring up, other than donating to Jeremy's site and the CSU t-shirt that I got from Coppin State, is the fact that it's really interesting. You know, we're heading into the crunch time of the season. Can't believe already April 27th. God, where has the season gone? We've only got about a month left of the regular season. And a lot of interesting teams. Let's take a look quickly at 5 teams that are the most interesting, I think, to keep an eye on in the weeks ahead. First off, at the top of the RPI, Coastal Carolina. Good night, nurse. Is Coach Gilmore doing a great job with the Chanticleers or what? They're number 1 in the RPI. Who would have thought that 5-10 years ago? Would have been unthinkable. Now they're there. Probably not going to stay at number 1 as the winds kick in. Probably not going to stay at number 1 just because their schedule is a little bit weak. You know, the big anchor effect by the Big South. They're going to have a couple of series coming up against UNC Asheville, Winthrop, and Radford that are going to yank that RPI down a little bit. Let's keep an eye on them to see if their RPI drops out of the top 8. I don't think it'll do that bad, but you never know. We'll see how these weaker teams affect their RPI. But let's hope they get to stay in the top 8, the national seeds, because after seeing them against North Carolina last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess it was, I was really impressed. Good team, solid team, and they've got good pitching, defense, all that stuff. So, secondly, the second most important team, I think, South Carolina. They are currently, right now, number 1 in the SEC East at 14-4, if I'm not mistaken. And it's interesting that, yes, they've played some great ball. Coach Tanner's done a good job with them, obviously. But keep in mind that they've played all of the bottom feeders of the SEC so far. But they've also beaten Vanderbilt 2 out of 3 and Ole Miss. You know, those are 2 teams that are kind of freaking out a lot. You never know what to expect from them. But nonetheless, let's see what happens when South Carolina closes out the season with teams like Arkansas and Florida, and then they also have a road trip to Kentucky that won't be a cakewalk. So let's keep our judgment for that for later on. Let's see how they do. Right now they're kicking ass and they're doing a great job. The third team I'd like to talk about, Boston College. Like a bull with gas, they've just exploded up from the mid-80s in the RPI up to 44 right now, or 46 I should say. Just amazing. In the last 3 weeks they've done that. So and also really cool to see. They're going to have a few weekends here coming up where they're going to get to play teams like Virginia Tech. They also have Florida State and Georgia Tech to close the season. So their destiny's kind of in their own hands, and if they keep playing as they are, Coach Aoki and the crew, they're going to be a great story, and maybe another great regional run that they have in them. Two other teams real quick, UConn, University of Connecticut. They're in the low 20s right now in the RPI. They're kind of like Coastal Carolina. They're gonna have a little bit of a drag down effect because they got some weak conference mates coming up like Cincinnati, South Florida, that are gonna kind of pull their RPI down a little bit. But they're a legit team. I saw them beat Cal State Northridge out here. Very impressed with their team. They're gonna have they got a good squad. I don't know if their RPI is gonna be helped with the teams they got coming up, but keep an eye on them. Lastly, Cal State Fullerton. The Titans, my boys, the Titans. They're an interesting lot. A lot of early losses. Played like crap early on, and I don't know how that'll affect them. I don't know if they'll be able to get back into national seed territory. I know that they've got a good shot to be a #1 seed if they keep playing well, and if not, if they kind of go 500 the rest of the way, I think we've got it locked down that UCLA is probably going to be #1 seed at Cal State Fullerton for the postseason. And I don't want to see those two matched up again because it seems like they're matched up every year, but so that would kind of suck. But anyway, keep an eye on Fullerton. Let's see if they keep winning to up their RPI a little bit more. Again, I'm not sure if they get into national seed territory or not. Last weekend, real quick, we got Stanford sweeping Cal, Ole Miss sweeping LSU, which was amazing. Not a lot of pitching showed up in that series. I'd like to see those teams pitch a little bit better. But great win for Mike Bianco. They shot from the mid-40s up to the mid-20s now in the RPI, and that was just a huge boost. And then Florida, Arkansas, another series to talk about. Florida and Arkansas, great back and forth series. Florida came out on top. I think they solidified their national seeding for the postseason with that. We'll see. Florida has LSU coming up this weekend. Very interesting series. This is kind of LSU's come to Jesus meeting. If they don't win this series, they can probably kiss a national seed goodbye. They could probably still get a #1 seed maybe. But you know how important it is for LSU to play at home. So this is their shot. If they blow this one, I think you can kind of stick a fork in them. As far as national seeding goes, it's not going to be the be-all and end-all of this season, obviously. So that'll be a great series. And also out here, Arizona State and UCLA. The Pac-10 has done really well. Still #1 in the ISR rankings, best conference. These two teams are going to be facing off. Great pitching coming. Starting for Arizona State, you got the two Jakes, Jake Borup and Jake Barrett. Mitchell Lamson, one of the best closers in the country, and of course UCLA's crew with Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer. That's going to be a great series. Can't wait to see how that one turns out. I expect it to be low scoring, and it should be a real Donnybrook. Really cool series to be coming up. So that's what you have to look forward to this coming week. There's a lot of other things, obviously. I didn't want to make this too long. Rice reestablishing their dominance in the Conference USA. And yes, Marshall fans, I'm keeping an eye on you. You're in second place now in the Conference USA, which is incredible. Enjoy your time out there. Oh, and the musical bed for this week provided by the Teddy Bears Rocket Scientists. Love those guys. They're a Swedish band that used to be known as Skull, but they wanted to lighten their image a little bit, so they went from Skull to the Teddy Bears. Great music nonetheless. So thanks again for everything, sending in comments and questions and all that. I think I'm going to go now and throw a snowball at Bigfoot. See you guys next week.